Ooh, okay. So, it's still pretty dark. Here we have the Edwin H Gott. There they are. It's pretty dark. They're here at West Pier, heading for the lock on a very windy day. Ooh, boy, it is windy. You can see them all lit up, looking really good with all their lights on. And yeah, it's really, whew. We're facing into the wind. It's like a wind out of the west. So they got a pretty stout tailwind. They're blowing them into the lock. So that'll be interesting for them. Pretty much everyone is tied up this evening and waiting out this blow here. So what is today? Today is Sunday, the 19th of October, 2025. And yeah, it's really windy. I really don't have a good way to show you because there aren't like any good waves coming in. But whew. It is kind of nasty out. The Alpina came through earlier. I think, I'm not gonna say I think, I did do a live stream of them, and they're tied up there behind Whitefish Point. Wilfred Sykes is tied up down by a detour, as is the Polar Tregurtha. Except the Tregurtha is going downbound, the Sykes is upbound, but they're tied up, and I imagine the Gott will go to anchor, but I'm kind of curious as to where. Because with the wind out of the west, I heard on the radio, of course, it's blowing the water out, so our water levels here are really quite high. But down in the rock cut, they were negative. I think it was like -2 in the rock cut. So I don't know if they'll be able to go or not. So I don't know if they're just going to tie up at the carbide dock or drop anchor down at Hay Lake or what, but I guess only one way to find out is to keep watching. Well, I can hear them putting that, I'm going to say put the prop in reverse, but they just adjust the angle of the propeller so that it pulls instead of pushes, if that makes any sense. But yeah, they're going to need some brakes going in there. That is the truth. This is not level. I very quickly got here, threw the tripod up here in the bed of the truck, climbed in. And here we are. Yep, I can hear when they do that with the propeller. Real quick, I'll zoom in here. You can see our 3 tower cranes there. Kilo, Alpha, and Tango. All the names of the cranes there. Of course, that is the initials for the company doing most of the lock work there. They're actually a fair ways from the wall. Usually they're hugging that. I'll kind of zoom in here, maybe we can see. I don't know if you can tell, they're a fair distance. They're probably just trying to stay away. Then they'll nose in to drop off their line handlers. Kind of, I imagine the last time, or the last chance, you know, because it's so windy. I imagine the captain's got their hands full with that right now. You know, with all this wind, that back just acts like a huge sail, just pushing them in. You know, one of many things when it comes to operating these ships that I have no clue whatsoever about. I mean, in a very broad general sense, maybe, but in reality, I have no idea. obviously fully admit that. Since we're looking at the bridge, I crossed the bridge yesterday for the hike Argo and I did over on Robertson Cliffs and King Mountain. Should have been a video up of that already. If not, it'll be coming soon. But while I was coming back, I took a picture looking down in there, and maybe I'll throw that in here just so you can get an idea of how much concrete's going down in there in the new lock. Like, it's a lot. You really can appreciate why they built the mix plant here. I mean, the amount of concrete they're using and will use is substantial. So it's kind of neat to see it. And on the bridge, you get a nice view down in there you can't see from any other angle. So but I think that's going to pretty much do it. Not a whole lot more to see. I just wanted to catch them. I'm not seeing the Gott in a minute, so you got to come see them, right? Oh, I'm a nerd. It's okay though. But thanks for joining myself. Argo is at home. I would say he's nice and warm in his bed. Well, he probably is. He's just in his downstairs bed in the living room. Because I knew it was going to be cold and windy, and he wouldn't be coming out anyway. So he is warm in the house. So thanks for joining again myself on this very windy, blustery evening, the gales of November and October. Before I get blown over, I'm going to sign off. See you soon.